Today, I was supposed to be at this drag race, but instead, I'm here, still trying to figure out what's wrong with my Twin Turbo Lamborghini.
If you've watched the last video, the car seemed to be driving just fine. But if you've watched all the way to the end, you might also have seen that we still got a few errors.
It's been 2 months since I Twin Turbo the Lamborghini and I'm still chasing some issues. So at this point, you might be wondering whether it was a huge mistake to mess with a perfectly good $300,000 Lamborghini. And yes, I have wondered the same myself. But that ship has sailed and we have 3 major things to fix today, so we might as well just get to work. Let's do it.
The first thing on the list is fixing the AGT sensors. Remember these? And that's when I made a huge and quite expensive mistake that I wouldn't realize until much later. Well, that ended up being even more expensive than I thought. But luckily, I found a couple sensors from a low mileage crash car for less than half the price, so let's get them installed. We have to disassemble the entire back end of the car once again. We start by removing the wing, then the grille, then the bumper, then we can move on to the bumper structure, and finally, the most annoying part, the heat shield, so we can get our arms deep there into the EGT.
Alright, so the whole car is apart and the 2 EGTs are out. This one is the one that I cut. Hopefully that was a problem. Also, I see that the heat shield is kind of broken. I don't know if that's a big deal, but it doesn't look great in both of them. We have new sensors, so let's get them installed.
Before getting them back in the car, I figured I would check the resistance in all of them. These are very sensitive to the resistance, which is how they measure the temperature. So I wanted to check if the crimps had affected the resistance, but they hadn't. But I figured, yeah, I already got the sensors, let's get them installed and just hope that it fixes our issues.
So now just fire up, make sure it's all working, read the codes, and then hopefully it's just putting it all back together. So fingers crossed. Well, I completely forgot to put air filters back, but it was just a quick start, so should be fine.
With the EGT sensors out of the way, it was time to tackle our second issue, which was the all-wheel drive controller.
The second job is a bit unfortunate. It's to put the OEM all-wheel drive controller back. I've had traction control kicking in at weird times, sometimes at pretty high speeds where I think we have enough traction. So one suspicion is that it might be the Cyvex. So to check, we're going to put the OEM controller back and see if that fixes things.
If you've seen the last video, you already know the drill. We gotta remove the front liner so we can access the controller right next to the battery, behind the access panel. The only annoying part is that now, with the turbo kit, first I gotta remove the ice box before I can remove the liner.
The ice box is out, I need both hands for that. Now we just need to remove this liner, and then we can swap the controllers. So the front is out, and there was a little surprise. Oh no. So the first time that we installed the Cyvex, we forgot to put the USB cable in there, and we had to remove the front liner and we put it back. And it looks like the second time around, maybe the hoses didn't quite seal it right. It's a bit of a pain to tighten these AN hoses behind that panel. So yeah, maybe it needs a better solution, but for now, I'll just dry it and then we'll just swap back to the OEM controller and solve this problem later. Dried and cleaned the hood, OEM controller back in, ready to put the ice box back in. Off camera I debated quite a bit whether I should put the liner back, but it's in. The main annoying part is just connecting these hoses because it's quite tight, but it's just another maybe minute, so yeah, let's do that.
The most annoying part is that the hoses have to be at a very precise angle, otherwise I can't close this access panel. But after a couple tries, I got it. Now all that's left is checking for leaks and topping off the ice box.
And job done. Now we just have to wash the car because today is the first car meet of the season, and of course I'm excited to take the car now it's Twin Turbo and very few people have seen it yet. So yeah, let's get this thing clean because it's nasty right now.
The process I use for washing the car is very simple. Start with the greasers, then rinse it, quick shampoo, rinse it again, then just finish with a wet coat, and the car just looks great every time, and it only takes about 1 hour.
Alright, the car is nice and clean. It's ready for the first car meet of the year. We're gonna go out, we're gonna test the all-wheel drive controller, and then we're gonna go to KKB. Let's do it.
Unfortunately, I didn't check whether things actually worked, and when I was about to leave, I was met with a surprise.
Still there.
but that wasn't gonna stop me from going to the first event of the year, so I just went out anyway, and I'm glad I did because what a turnout. But we still have to fix the all-wheel drive.
So the guys at XM were very nice to let me borrow a lift, and then I found these. Yep, just a connector to the all-wheel drive system that wasn't properly connected. Oh well, that one was on me, so yeah, at least it's an easy fix. I'll just reconnect, erase the codes, and hopefully that's fixed.
But I think by now, this car has made it pretty clear that it's not gonna be that easy.
That one could be because the car has to drive, maybe?
Maybe.
Unfortunately, just driving didn't fix the issue. I tried switching back to the Cyvex and then back to the OEM module once again, and apparently something happened with the OEM module and it had to be reprogrammed. So I had to XM once again since they had a contact that could code the module remotely.
Something's happening! The all-wheel drive light is off for the first time in 3 weeks. No lights at all on the dash. Well, just the lift. That was a speed bump. But these feel so nice. The only good part of having these problems is that once we fix them, it just feels so good. And the car is just pulling differently now that, you know, I actually have a working four-wheel drive system. So yeah, that feels very nice. I'll record some more driving clips soon, but it's exciting to finally have a proper working car.
But that didn't last very long.
Time to replace the battery. Frunk is out again. Back at XM once again. Should probably start paying rent here. But today it should be quick, just changing the battery. I don't know if the other one was bad, but it was going down to 11.9 sometimes. I figured we're having some weird electrical gremlin, so it's a relatively cheap thing, so might as well fix it.
Yep, the all-wheel drive errors were back. And while I didn't expect the battery to just fix everything, since all the errors we had were electrical, I just figured I would give it a try.
New batteries in the air. Let's see if we got any new codes or if we got rid of any old ones. Don't mind them. You know when your friends come to your house?
Yeah.
Don't mind them. No codes.
At all?
And now the all-wheel drive comes on. I wonder if this battery is actually bad.
80% power charge, battery life 88%, good battery.
Okay, so I just wasted money.
Once again.
And time.
Thank you for your contribution, kind sir. Wait. It was selected common battery and we changed to AGM. So the battery life 80% charged, battery life 60%. And the verdict, replace battery. So maybe it wasn't all waste. Maybe some things will be better. Maybe life will be better from here on. Follow and find out.
At this point, I wasn't very confident that replacing the battery would have fixed anything, but I figured it was worth a try. So let's just get everything back together and go drive this car. And that brings us to the third issue we have to fix: the MAF sensor errors that I'm getting.
So we got one more error that keeps popping up, and that's a MAF implausible signal. That's a mass airflow sensor that measures how much air is going into the engine. And of course, if that isn't working right, it's gonna cause all sorts of problems. So we have one more thing that I want to try. Right now, we have the MAF in gear that came with the turbo kit from the previous owner. But I still have my original ones that were in the car before in storage.
I didn't want to waste any time, so I just brought home the entire air boxes. Then it was just removing the sensors and installing it on the car. It's just 2 bolts, so it's pretty easy, but unfortunately the access isn't great, so that was a bit of a challenge.
While I was installing the MAF, I knocked one of those like little plastic caps, which I believe are for, I think these are vacuum lines in there. So yeah, about to waste the next half an hour of my life trying to find it until I inevitably give up and then have to buy it somewhere. The joys of working on a car.
Turns out that half an hour is pretty optimistic, but the giving up and having to buy was spot on. Turns out it was just a breather hose for the gearbox, so I just put some tape on it and I'll order a replacement cap.
Alright, so the MAF is replaced. We just need to drive the car and see if hopefully fix it. In the front, I missed a little cover for the all-wheel drive module, and apparently those are very sensitive to getting wet, so I'm gonna go and install that now.
By now, I'm sure you're tired of seeing me taking this front on and off. I'm surely tired of taking this thing on and off, but I just gotta get it done. I don't want to ruin the module just because I was too lazy to put the cover back.
Top off the icebox because it's a little bit low, and then I think we're done for today.
I took the car on a test drive and it felt great, but eventually the error came back.
The main reason this video has taken me so long is because I wanted to end it on a positive note. Show how we went through every issue, how they are all fixed, and how the car drives perfectly. But unfortunately, sometimes that's just not how life goes. So instead, I figured we would look at each of the issues, see which progress we made, and what's the plan going forward. So first, we started with the EGT and replaced the sensor. The errors changed a little bit, I get them less often, and now they only happen when the car is standing still for too long after the turbos got hot. There's a chance that we can fix that in the software, but we don't want to jump to any conclusions. We want to fix all the other issues to make sure that it's not caused by something else. So issue number 2 was the all-wheel drive. And that's a similar story. We fixed a bunch of things related to the all-wheel drive, but I still get the occasional error. And now I'm sure that the errors that I get are caused by issue number 3, which is the MAF sensor. And I fixed multiple things there. I tried swapping the sensors, I found some leaks and I fixed them, and now I'm not sure what's going on. I only get errors sporadically and only on bank number 2 and between 2,500 and 3,000 RPM under low load. I've spoken to a bunch of people and I'm not quite sure what's the next step. So if you have any ideas, please let me know in the comments, because yeah, I'm not sure. But I definitely do not want to jump the gun and just cancel these errors in the software. I want to really figure it out and fix it properly. So that's the next step. So yeah, it might look like there hasn't been any progress, but that's not quite true. We actually found one more problem, which is the fuel. And apparently the car is not really happy with the 98 fuel here. It's pulling back a lot of power, but I already have a solution for that, and I already bought something. So yeah, stay tuned for that. But before we do any upgrades, I want to really focus on fixing all the issues that we have right now that are affecting the drivability of the car. Thankfully, the car drives fine for most of the time, so I still can enjoy it. I'm going on a road trip with my son, I've been driving the car, I've been collecting logs and trying to understand what's going on. So that's the bright side. But yeah, focus number 1 now, figuring out the MAF issue. So again, if you have any ideas, just let me know in the comments. And if you enjoyed it and you want to see how we fix it, make sure you subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.